Port's renaissance, the surge in cargo at the Port of Baltimore, and its comeback stories since the Key Bridge tragedy. Welcome to the news at 5. I'm Nikki Zizaza.
And I'm Rick Ritter. More than 250,000 jobs rely on the Port of Baltimore, which certainly took a devastating hit after the Key Bridge collapse 2 years ago this week.
Now the port is seeing big increases in farm equipment, cars, and other staples. Tonight, WJZ investigator Mike Helgren shows us the progress.
This place right here represents where about 2/3 of the country get their goods from.
The Port of Baltimore supports more than 270,000 jobs, and after the Key Bridge tragedy, it has rebounded. The state says the port hosted 2,223 vessels in 2025, a 21% increase over 2023. It handled $65.6 billion in cargo, the third highest amount in history, and 728,000 cars and light trucks, the second highest in the U.S. Still, this plea from the leader of the Longshoremen's Union.
Baltimore is not back where it needs to be. We are open for business. We want your cargo. Bring it here to Baltimore.
This is a grid.
The port used the downtime to revamp, as they showed WJZ in May of 2024. Projects that fueled the growth we're now seeing.
As we have experienced the 2 years beyond the bridge collapse, we are well positioned for growth, and we look forward to the future and continue our investments in the Port of Baltimore.
The next step, finishing the rebuild of the Key Bridge. Governor Moore brushed off the Trump administration's past criticism that the project is too expensive and taking too long.
We're very grateful that Congress was the one to authorize the 100% cost share, which basically means that Maryland has its own skin in the game. You know, Maryland has now put in hundreds of millions of dollars into this project.
He also called for Marylanders to get refunds on the Trump administration's tariffs, which he says have driven up the price of goods coming into the port.
It's caused the price of everything to continue to increase. And so I'm glad the Supreme Court deemed and ruled that the tariffs were illegal. I do think that, that the average Maryland family who's now paid essentially about $1,700 over the past year for illegal tariffs, I do think they deserve that money back.
Despite the political fights, the port is healthier than ever, a critical success story for the lifeblood of Maryland's economy. In your corner in Baltimore, Mike Helgren, WJZ.
Mike, thank you.